Hello, and welcome to episode 80, entitled A Purpose-Driven Life.
My name is Gary Vierheller, and I'll be your host for what we call the Substantive Living Podcast. Today, we'll look at what we call life's lessons. And I hope this will provide you with some insight, maybe even some inspiration to life's challenges.
Why is having a purpose-driven life so important? Well, many times when people come to me and they want to work for my company, or if I'm looking to hire someone, I ask them a series of questions. I said, well, what's your life purpose? And the person will say, excuse me. And I'll say, what is your life purpose? What is it you want to give your life to? What is it you want to devote your life to? What is it you want to dedicate your life to? And almost always the person is stunned and says, gee, that's a big question. I said, well, let me explain why I want to know. Because if you can tell me your life purpose, then I can either look for ways for you to work for me in which what you're doing for my company and what your life purpose is parallels, or I might know somebody that can help you down the path of your life purpose. Either way, you're going to be working with more power and with more focus than without. And it makes you more productive, and it makes life much more enjoyable. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, well, let me explain why I want to do this. Just imagine I'm your doctor. And I come to you and I say, I'm sorry, we've done the test 5 times. I've brought in outside experts. They've looked at the results. And I'm really sorry to tell you that you have 2 weeks to live. What would you do? Would you watch television? I doubt it. Would you read newspapers and magazines? I kind of doubt it. Almost always, when I present this idea to someone, the person says, I would make sure my family's taken care of, and that each one of my family understands how much I love them and how grateful I am to have had them in my life, and also to my friends. And I'll say, okay, did you see what just happened? When you have a deadline, when you have a timeline on this, a limited, finite amount of time, suddenly all the nonsense just drifts away. And you're very focused on what you need to do. That is a purpose-driven life. So that was 2 weeks to live. Okay, now you have 1 month to live. Now you have 6 months to live. Now you have the rest of your life. What are you going to do? Because if you have an idea, a direction, and it's like a vision statement for a company, you'll never completely achieve the goal. You're always working towards it. A vision is like a dream. Well, the same with your purpose-driven life. And you have that dream that you're working towards. And then you can break that down into small steps, which are missions. And then each mission can be broken down into objectives, so that you're taking small steps to achieve each mission, and you can have multiple missions going on. And each mission is one step towards that dream, towards that vision, towards that life purpose. Let me give you an example, a real-life example. I work at Miraikon, which is one of the best science museums in the world. And Dr. Mamoru Mori, Japan's first astronaut, suggested the Tsunagari Project. He was director of the museum. And the Tsunagari Project says, we are dedicated to help each visitor discover a personal connection to this planet of life. And what each person can do to make this environment Earth's environment more sustainable, because if we sustain the Earth environment, we sustain the human species. That is a dream that we'll always be working towards, to improving the environment, to protecting the environment. It's nothing that can be done immediately, but we can take steps right now and continue working towards that. That's a purpose-driven museum. Well, it's very important to have your own purpose. Have your own life purpose. So, something else you can do too, once you have an idea of where you want to go, and then you have, okay, this mission is one step, then you can backward chain. Backward chaining means you have a goal, and then you work backward, step by step, to the present. And in doing that, now you have small steps to successfully complete that mission. And that can really help you. Or another way that people do is they'll have a bullseye. And the bullseye is the goal. And then what do you do before that? That's the ring outside the bullseye. And then the next ring, and the next ring, and the next ring. Each one is a step towards the target. So, in the short term, to imagine a purpose, you can say, by the end of, I will have, and I learned that from being a diving instructor for PADI, because every one of their units said, by the end of this unit, you will be able to. It keeps people focused. So, start thinking about what your life purpose is. What do you want to give your life to? What do you want to dedicate your life to? What do you want to devote your life to? Have an idea of the direction you're going. Because if you don't have a purpose in life, you're like a car without a steering wheel. Lots of energy and you're going nowhere. Give yourself the advantage of having a purpose. And that can alter and change and be modified. At least start. I'm going in this direction. This is what I'm going to do with my life. I wish you luck. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today for the Substance of Living podcast. If you'd be kind enough to consider subscribing, you can contact us through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or connect on Twitter. Join us again next time for what I hope will help you navigate life.